Hola people, story time. Page 31, Women who runs with wolves. Who saw what in the seventh vault of the seventh heaven we do not know. But we do not know that contact with the world wherein the essences reside causes us to know something beyond the usual hearing of humans, and fills us with a feeling of expansion and grandeur as well. When we touch the authentic fundament of the one who knows, it causes us to react and act from our deepest integral nature. The story recommends that the optimal attitude for experiencing the deepest unconscious is one of neither too much fascination nor too little, one of not too much of but neither too much cynicism, bravery yes, but not recklessness. Young cautions in his magnificent essay, The Transcendent Function, that some persons in their pursuit of the self will over-aestheticize the God or self-experience. Some will undervalue it, some will overvalue it, and some who are not ready for it will be injured by it. But still others will find their way to what Young called the moral obligation, to live out and to express what one has learned in the descent or ascent to the wild self. This moral obligation he speaks of means to live what we perceive, be it found in the psychic Elysian fields, the isles of the dead, the bone deserts of the psyche, the face of the mountain, the rock of the sea, the lush underworld, any place where La Quesabe breathes upon us, changing us. Our work is to show we have been breathed upon, to show it, give it out, sing it out, to live out in the topside world that what we have received through our sudden knowings from body, from dreams, and journeys of all sorts. La Loba parallels world myths in which the dead are brought back to life. In Egyptian mythos, Isis accomplishes the service for her dead brother Osiris, who is dismembered by his evil brother Set every night. Isis works from dusk to dawn each night to piece her brother back together again before morning, else the sun will not rise. The Christ-raised Lazarus, who has been dead so long he stinketh, Demeter calls forth the pale daughter Persephone from the land of the dead once a year, and La Loba sings over the bones. This is our meditation practice as women, calling back the dead and dismembered aspects of ourselves, calling back the dead and dismembered aspects of life itself. The one who recreates from that which has died is always a double-sided archetype. The creation mother is always also the death mother, and vice versa. Because of this dual nature or double tasking, the great work before us is to learn to understand what around and about us and what within us must live and what must die. Our work is to apprehend the timing of both, to allow what must die to die and what must live to live. For women, El Rio Abajo Rio, the river beneath the river world, the bone woman home place contains direct knowing about seedlings, rootstock, the seed corn of the world. In Mexico, women are said to carry La Luz de la Vida, the light of life. This light is located not in a woman's heart, not behind her eyes, but in los ovarios, in her ovaries, where all the seed stock is laid down before she is even born. For men exploring the deeper ideas of fertility and the nature of seed, the cross-gender image is the furry back, los cojones, the scrotum. This is the knowing to be gained in being close to wild woman. When La Loba sings, she sings from the knowing of Los Ovarios, a knowing from deep within the body, deep within the mind, deep within the soul. The symbols of seed and bone are very similar. If one has the rootstock, the basis, the original part, if one has the seed corn, any havoc can be repaired, devastations can be resumed, fields can be rested, hard seed can be soaked to soften it, to help it break open and thrive. To have the seed means to have the key to life. To be with the cycles of the seed means to dance with life, dance with death, dance into life again. This embodies the life and death mother in her most ancient and principled form. Because she turns in these constant cycles, I call her the life-death-life mother. If something is lost, it is she to whom one must appeal, speak with, and listen to. Her psychic advice is sometimes harsh or difficult to put into practice, but always transformative and restorative. So when something is lost, we must go to the old woman who always lives in the out-of-the-way pelvis. She lives out there, half in and half out of the creative fire. This is a perfect place for women to live, right next to the fertile huevos, their eggs, their female seeds. There the tiniest ideas and the largest ones are waiting for our minds and actions to make them manifest. Imagine the old woman as the quintessential 2 million-year-old woman. She is the original wild woman who lives beneath and yet on the top side of the earth. She lives in and through us, and we are surrounded by her. The deserts, the woodlands, and the earth under our houses are 2 million years old, and then some. I'm always taken by how deeply women like to dig into the earth. They plant bulbs for the spring. They poke blackened fingers into mucky soil, transplanting sharp-smelling tomato plants. I think they are digging down to the 2 million-year-old woman. They are looking for her toes and her paws. They want her for a present to themselves, for with her they feel a peace and at peace. Without her, they feel restless. Many women I've worked with over the years began their first session with some variation of, well, I don't feel bad, but I don't feel good either. I think that condition is not a great mystery. We know it comes from not enough milk. The cure? La Loba. Find that 2 million-year-old woman. She is caretaker of the dead and dying of woman things. She is the road between the living and the dead. She sings the creation hymns over the bones. The old woman, wild woman, is la voz mythologica. She is the mythical voice who knows the past and our ancient history and keeps it recorded for us in stories. Sometimes we dream her as a disembodied but beautiful voice, as the hag maiden. She knows us what it means to be not withered but wizened. Babies are born wizened with instinct. They know in their bones what is right and what to do about it. It is innate. If a woman holds on to this gift of being old while she is young and young while she is old, she will always know what comes next. If she has lost it, she can yet reclaim it with some purposeful psychic work. La Loba, the old one in the desert, is a collector of bones. In archetypal symbology, bones represent the indestructible force. They do not lend themselves to easy reduction. They are, by their structure, hard to burn, nearly impossible to pulverize. In myth and in story, they represent the indestructible soul spirit. We know the soul spirit can be injured, even maimed, but it is very nearly impossible to kill. You can dent the soul and bend it. You can hurt it and scar it. You can leave the marks of illness upon it and the scorch marks of fear, but it does not die, for it is protected by Laloba in the underworld. She is both the finder and the incubator of the bones. Bones are heavy enough to hurt with, sharp enough to cut through flesh, and when old and if strong, tinkle like glass. The bones of the living are alive and creatural in themselves. They constantly renew themselves. A living bone has a curiously soft skin to it. It appears to have certain powers to regenerate itself. Even as a dry bone, it becomes home for small living creatures. The wolf bones in the story represent the indestructible aspect of the wild self, the instinctual nature, the creatura dedicated to freedom, and the unspoiled, that which will never accept the rigors and requirements of a dead and overly civilizing culture. The metaphors in the story typify the entire process from bringing a woman to her full instinctual wildish senses. Within us is the old one who collects bones. Within us there are the soul bones of this wild self. Within us is the potential to be fleshed out again as the creature we once were. Within us are the bones to change ourselves and our world. Within us is the breath and our truths and our longings. Together they are the song, the creation hymn we have been yearning to sing. This does not mean we should walk about with our hair hanging in our eyes, or with black ringed claws for fingernails. Yes, we remain human, but also within a human woman is the animal instinctual self. This is not some romantic cartoon character. It has real teeth, a true snarl, huge generosity, unequaled hearing, sharp claws, generous and furry breasts. This self must have freedom to move, to speak, to be angry, and to create. This self is durable, resilient, and possesses high intuition. It is a self which is knowledgeable in the spiritual dealings of death and birth. Today, the old one inside you is collecting bones. What is she remaking? She is the soul self, the builder of the soul home. Ella lo hace a mano. She makes and remakes the soul by hand. What is she making for you? Even in the best of worlds, the soul needs refurbishing from time to time. Just like the adobes here in the southwest. A little peels, a little falls down, a little washes away. There is always an old round woman with bedroom slipper feet who is patting mud slurry on the adobe walls. She mixes straw and water and earth and pats it back on the walls, making them fine again. Without her, the house will lose its shape. Without her, it will wash down into a lump after a hard rain. She is the keeper of the soul. Without her, we lose our shape. Without an open supply line to her, humans are said to be soulless or damned souls. She gives shape to the soul house and makes more house by hand. She is the one in the old apron. She is the one who dresses in longer in the front than in the back. She is the one who pats. She is the soul maker, the wolf raiser, the keeper of things wild. So I say to you with affection, majestically, be you a black wolf, a northern grey, a southern quintessential instinctual creatura. Although some might really prefer you behave yourself and not climb all over the furniture in joy or all over people in welcome, do it anyway. Some will draw back from you in fear or disgust. Your lover, however, will cherish this new aspect of you if he or she be the right lover for you. Some people will not like it if you take a sniff at everything to see what it is, and for heaven's sakes, no lying on your back with your feet up in the air. Bad girl, bad wolf, bad dog, right? Wrong. Go ahead, enjoy yourself. And with these words, I wish you very, very pleasant rest of the day. I love you. Your abuelita loves you. You are loved. Enjoy yourself. See you tomorrow. Story time.